He is not ready to die, and he doesn't want to. And yet, he has passed the first hurdle for medically assisted dying. Tonight, City News speaks with a man who feels he has no choice but to end his life because of a broken social safety net.
How would you describe the quality of your life?
Awful, non-existent, terrible. I do nothing other than sort of manage symptoms, manage pain. There we go.
Amir Farsood lives with never-ending agony from a back injury.
How bad does it get?
At worst, it gets bad enough that I'm crying like a 5-year-old and not sleeping for 2 days in a row.
But that's not why he has applied for medically assisted dying, otherwise known as MAID, nor is it the depression he lives with. Farsood has applied because he is in danger of losing his housing. He lives in this St. Catharines rooming house, sharing this space with 2 other people, but it is up for sale. Farsood lives on social assistance and says he can't find anywhere else he can afford.
I don't want to die, but I don't want to be homeless more than I don't want to die.
Medically assisted dying in Canada was expanded this past March to include people with disabilities or those suffering in pain, even if they are not close to death. That means Farsood likely qualifies. This checkmark on his form signed by his doctor indicates where he meets the MAID criteria: physical suffering due to disability that is intolerable and cannot be relieved. He needs one more doctor to sign off. Farsood is not the first person with a disability to consider MAID.
They don't want to live this way anymore. You know, there's no safety net at all.
For the last 2 years, City News has documented how people with disabilities on Ontario Disability Support Payments, or ODSP, are struggling to survive and would consider MAID when it was expanded.
Sometimes it's a choice between burning to death and jumping out of a high-rise building.
Walmart, Costa, and...
Life on ODSP is a life well below the poverty line. Farsood makes a little over $1,200 a month on ODSP. Rent is $690 a month. After bills and expenses are paid, he has about $7 a day left for food.
What do you buy to survive?
A lot of beans.
That's why he can't pay more for rent. Farsood has been told the wait list for affordable housing is 7 years. MAID is his out.
That's definitely not what MAID was designed for, but cases like that are emerging with increasing frequency across the country.
Dr. Carrie Bowman is a bioethicist at U of T.
These are a minority of cases, but ethically it doesn't matter that they're a minority, they're there. We were unbelievably naive as a nation to think that vulnerability, disability, poverty, that we could just somehow parcel that off and it wasn't going to be a problem. It's a huge problem.
There is a 90-day waiting period after applying for MAID. Farsood believes he could technically be eligible next month.
Are you afraid to die?
Who isn't? Yeah, I am. Sorry. I was going to be the tough guy and not do this, but hey. Yeah, at 3 in the morning I am. I wouldn't be.
Assisted dying is available in some 7 countries, including several states in the U.S. Now, it's difficult to compare because guidelines vary from country to country, but some argue Canada is the most lenient when it comes to the criteria. Tomorrow, I'll tell you how the number of MAID cases is rising and the federal government's response to stories like Farsood's.